Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have with us Dr. Elango Rengasamy, esteemed professor of finance, a resident scholar of the prestigious Office of International Affairs and Global Partnership at Elango University, Bangalore. Not merely an academic but a financial title. Sir's contribution to the world of finance are legendary, shaping minds and influencing markets. He is bridge between the hollowed holes of academia and the dynamic world of global partnerships. Through his tireless efforts, Sir has ignited a firestorm of international collaborations, fostering a symphony of financial education across the globe. His work has not only illuminated the minds with Elango University, but it has cast and a radiant glow upon the entire academic and professional landscape, forever changing the financial disclosure on a global scale. I welcome you, sir, to this address. Sir, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your kind words. And it's a matter of great pleasure, pride and honor that I have been given an opportunity to address this August gathering. To start with, let me congratulate Dr. Prakash Divagaran for organizing this wonderful conference. Please join in extending our sincere thanks to him. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to focus on a few important areas, carefully keeping in mind the current state of affairs happening in the global educational landscape. Although there are a lot of things we can discuss, I'm just going to focus on 5 areas which I would list out one by one. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, currently, not only in developing countries, but also in developed countries, Europe and other places, a lot of emphasis is given for quality. You know it very well. The first and foremost being institutional reputation is getting a kind of emphasis in all the universities across the world today. So what do you mean by institutional reputation? Students pay a lot of money, and because they are being supported by their parents, when anyone pays money, they definitely expect quality education. So when you talk about institutional reputation, quality is very important and credibility. And who is responsible for this? Institutions are responsible for this. It's not happening only in the developed nations, it's happening across the world. When you talk about institutional reputation, more emphasis is given to research and publications as well. So students, parents, every stakeholder, the society at large wants you to impart high quality education in terms of teaching, learning, assessment, ensuring that there is no plagiarism. So it's very, very important that we take up the ownership, academicians. If you closely look at the criteria for QS ranking, it says academic reputation 40% and citations 20%, which means look at the academic input, look at the research input. Out of 100, these two take 60%, which means who wants these two? It's only academics. If you go to Times ranking also, teaching 30%, research 30%, and again citations 30%. International scholars, representation from other countries, that's only 10%. So now everybody keeps an eye on global ranking, country ranking. Now that's the buzzword today. And we have to rise to the occasion, understand the challenges, and make sure that we contribute to the quality aspects. So this is one point. So firstly, institutional reputation in terms of teaching, learning, research. Then Currently, as you know, internationalization is also taking the front stage. When I talk about internationalization, what do you mean by that? Every institution, universities and colleges, they were all functioning in silos. No more. Believe me, now every institution, at least the reputed one, ma'am was talking about, NIRF ranking, NAC, all these aspects. Now we have to think from global perspective. At Alliance University, what we do, I can just explain to you in 2 minutes. Then you would understand how important is engagement with international partners. What we do is we send our students abroad. We call it student exchange. I'm sure most of the universities are doing it. Student exchanges for a semester, student exchange on transfer programs, like we call it 4+1. If the degree program is for 5 years, 4 years they do at home university, host university, and 1 year at other universities, So like this, 3+2, 2+2. If it is a PG program like MBA, 1 year at the home university and 1 year at the host university abroad. We have engagements with 81 universities across the globe. So one is student exchange and staff exchange also. So I'm sure your institutions are also doing it. In case they don't do it, this is time for you to go and explain to them the importance of understanding the global landscape, particularly the educational landscape, and make sure we are connected to the world. So staff exchange also happens. Our faculty members visiting USA, UK, Europe, and we are bringing faculty from there. Online webinars, research collaborations, joint research works. So like this, a lot of internationalization activities happen. And why is it necessary? Why is it important? Just because ranking agencies like QS, Times, they insist on that? No. We should understand the global best practices in terms of teaching, learning, as I mentioned earlier, and make sure at the grassroots level, in our classroom, these global best practices get into and students understand. Otherwise, we cannot become global citizens. Why becoming a global citizen is very important? The landscape has changed. The world has become flat. People are focused on quality, as I've been repeatedly parroting. So we have to ensure that it's happening. So internationalization, and the third important aspect is industry engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a program called corporate mentorship, where for every 10 students, we have either a CEO or a CFO or Chief Operating Officer guiding them. What happens is, like in the classroom, regular academic input happens. Theoretical aspects, case studies, brainstorming sessions. We make sure that all the 5 different forms of engagement with the students, teaching, research happens. Individual learning, where the student sweats hard to learn. Peer learning, we attach people with them. Peer mentoring, learning from the teacher, learning through research, group learning. So all these aspects, all these input are given to the student. So that learning becomes a delight for the students. Learning connects directly with what's happening on the ground. So this is also another important aspect, industry engagement. For every unit or every module, we make sure either a visit happens to the industry, or we bring an expert from the industry to interact with our students 2 hours, 3 hours, half a day, so that they understand what's happening on the ground. And the fourth important aspect, as I mentioned earlier, is quality control. We make sure that the internet speed, titles collection in the library, e-resources, and student-staff ratio. Again, international ranking agencies insist on that. That also goes very rigorous litmus test at universities today. So every university, small or big, should always keep an eye on the emerging developments, the global developments currently happening, and we make sure that we are aligned on par with, if not we excel with the global developments. Otherwise, our students will learn, something which is totally disconnected from what's happening in the world. That's not the way we should function. And finally, support to students. So first one, I was talking about institutional reputation. Secondly, I was talking about internationalization. Thirdly, about industry engagement. And fourthly, I mentioned about quality control in every aspect, starting from governance, administration, teaching, and also support to the student. That's the last point which I would like to touch upon. Currently, students are very particular that they get the necessary input they need. We are getting queries from students. Believe me, now students are talking about for publications of the faculty members. They also ask whether it is Scopus indexed. They're also checking whether ABDC's listed journals our people are publishing. So to that extent, our students have gone, because parents are highly educated. They understand the importance of country ranking, international ranking, and they also understand what type of students are getting. And now, in the United States and other places, there is a saying which goes, publish or perish. Correct or not? Yes. But unfortunately, for some of the disciplines like engineering, ladies and gentlemen, my esteemed colleagues, please note that publication is, happening just like that. I have seen ABDC publication or Scopus publications happening in 2 or 3 months. But if you talk about business discipline and other disciplines, it takes at least 2.5 years to do the initial review. So by the time when it is accepted and published, the data are outdated, the publications and the results become redundant and meaningless. So I will give a clue for you guys. What you can do is go for interdisciplinary research. Like currently myself and some of my friends, my esteemed friend Dr. Rajesh is here. We are finance guys. We connect with our engineering discipline. How AI, ML, IoT can support finance. Believe me, it gets published in a maximum of 3 to 4 months. And again, in Q1, Q2. Can you imagine that publication in Q1, Q2 happening in 3 months to 4 months? Incredible, but that's true. So I would urge our faculty members present here, and I also seen some of the members from corporate sector here. Please, as I was just mentioning one of the participants here, that ordinary people work, smart people network. The purpose of coming here is to connect with. Wonderful job you have done, Dr. Prakash, because connect with people. So don't expect somebody to come and exchange cards with you. You be proactive. Exchange cards. Talk about your research. Get some input from them, and definitely that is going to reward you in the long run. As a final wrap-up note, I just want to give Dr. Prakash advised me to deliver another lecture. I'm not sure whether we get time or not, but I just want to give a clue. Before choosing a paper, fishing out a topic, please make sure, will my contribution advance the field? That's the first question. Because I'm an editor, I've reviewed almost 300 to 400 articles. That's why Dr. Prakash invited me. Does it advance the field? That's the first question every editor would ask. Secondly, is the topic interesting, original, and will it confuse the reader? Or is it clear? Yes, the title is clear, and the research problem is very, very clear, and its original contribution. Now, not only Turnitin very easily identifies the thieves, copycats, AI is also contributing today, so nobody can escape from the net. If you want to do research, do original research. More importantly, ethical standards. More importantly, ethical standards are very, very important. And as I mentioned repeatedly, ladies and gentlemen, interdisciplinary research is getting a lot of importance, emphasis nowadays. Connect with people, talk to them, and if you need any support, we are available. The first point of contact for you will be Dr. Prakash, and definitely we can work together and grow together. Yeah? And once again, congratulations. Thank you very much for this opportunity, Dr. Prakash. Let's connect with each other and work together. All the very best to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Elango, for your holistic speech. It is truly, truly fruitful and informative for, I think, every researcher here.